Hey guys, it's Marcus, and welcome to TalkSober.com. Today, we are going to answer the million-dollar question. Do I need to abstain from drinking entirely, or can I moderate? Now, when I was first trying to figure out my drinking problem, trying to figure out if I could sustain drinking and trying to moderate and quit and all that stuff, what I did is I ordered lots of books. I started out with various different programs, some religious recovery programs. I got various books on the brain and tried to learn the neuroscience perspective so that I could figure out what's going on and how to get help. I also went through various different therapy styles like EMDR and meditation, hypnotism, self-discipline. I went through trying to figure out, can I discipline myself into not drinking or not drinking as much or cutting back on drinking and different things like that. I also went through various different hypnotism things. I got the big hypnotism book to try to figure out, hey, is there some kind of hypnosis thing that I could go through where I could listen to it at night and then I'd wake up the next day only wanting 3 beers instead of a whole case of beers and whiskey. Right? So I went through a lot of different things. I went through like the power of the subconscious mind and all this self-help stuff. And, I was trying to figure out what was going on with me, what was wrong with me, why I was drinking so much. I also came across various specific books like Moderate Your Drinking, Social Drinking, and different things like that. And as I was going through my notes to make today's video for you, I actually found that in one of these books, I found some old receipts, okay? And you might be saying, well, Marcus, what do these receipts have to do with me drinking? Well, these receipts are from almost a year ago. Today is December 9th. It's actually 12/9 on 12/9, right? 12/09 on 12/9. It's kind of funny. But at any rate, these receipts were from December 23rd. Let's see, December 23rd, 2013, so almost 3 years ago. One of them is from Michael's, the craft store, and the other was from Sam's Club. Now, I remember it like it was yesterday. My wife had gone down. At that time, we lived in Northern California, right near San Francisco, and my wife had gone down to her family's for the day, and me and the kids decided that we were going to go to Sam's Club. We were going to get the gift that she wanted, which was like this little wagon tote. And then we were going to go to Michael's and make this flashy lit up card thing, which we still display every Christmas, even 3 years later. She really likes that one because you plug it in and it lights up and says, "Merry Christmas, Mom," and it's got little pictures and things. But long story short, I remember this day specifically because for the entire month of December, that is almost 23 days, I had gone without alcohol. I had made a resolution. I said, I'm not going to drink this time, right? I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink. And I was doing well. I didn't have any slip-ups or anything. It was about 3 weeks into this process. And we went out and, for some reason, on our way home, I went to Sam's Club, I went to Michael's, and on our way home, we stopped by the grocery store to get turkeys and various things. And at the grocery store, I didn't think anything of it because I had done it so many times before, but what I did is I went and I got some of my favorite beer. Okay, I got a couple of them at the store in Northern California. They had a bunch of big, tall bottles of all these different microbrews, which I really liked. Some of them were 9%, some were 4%, some were 5%, some were as much as 11%. And I got these beers, and I said, you got to have a beer while you're putting together cool Christmas stuff. It's just, what you do to relax. And the problem with this is it started the cycle all over again. So where I had been clean for 3 weeks, I, picked up. I didn't plan on it. I didn't plan on failing. But this had been my pattern. You see, I'd be able to go a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden I'd be sitting there at lunch, and it was as if someone behind me shouted out, "Hey, I'll have a Bud Light with my Diet Coke," right? I had my Diet Coke, I was being good. I had my Bud Light, which was good because it was only 5%, or so I rationalized in my mind. But the long story short was I was having trouble moderating my alcohol. I desperately wanted to be able to control my drinking and be like everyone else. So what I'd like to do today is answer the question, Can you moderate, or do you need to stop? Now, before you go out there and look for more videos and articles justifying your drinking, right? Because that's what I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to get this book because it tells me I can moderate. I'm going to get these books because it tells me I can have some. And that is the obsession of every problem drinker and every alcoholic, is being able to drink normally. So before you go look at that stuff, I am not going to tell you that you cannot moderate or that you have to stop completely or anything like that. That is 100% up to you. One of the things about alcoholics and problem drinkers is we have a tendency to act like kids sometimes. I mean, I still do, even though I don't drink anymore. But we act like kids sometimes, and we're like, I don't want to go find someone who tells me I can't stop drinking. Well, let's face it, you're old enough to drink, which means you're old enough to make your decision about your drinking. So this decision is entirely up to you, right? It doesn't matter what anyone says. It matters what works for you. So let's hop over to the whiteboard and let's talk about how this works. What's going on in your mind? Do I need to quit, or can I have a few a day, or can I moderate, or whatever it is? So come on over to the whiteboard with me and let's talk about what's really going on. All right, now again, I want to reiterate the fact that, hopefully you can see this, we'll make it a little bit lower. You have the power, okay? You have the power. Always, 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 you have the power. What does that mean? That means that you can decide when to stop, when to start, everything. That's the problem with alcoholism and everything like that, is they say, well, you know, sometimes you don't have the power or whatever, everything like that. But the fact of the matter is you have the power. You have the power to decide not to drink today or to drink today. You have the power to decide to stop drinking for the rest of your life or stop drinking never, right? You have the complete power. So what we want to look at here is we want to look at the fact that, okay, I have the power. Now, do you have the power to completely stop? Do you have the power to moderate? Well, let's take a look, because you have the power to choose, okay? We'll put that up there. Now, one, do you have power to moderate? Okay? What does moderate mean? Moderate means drinking like a normal person, being able to have one and push it aside or whatever. Now, when I was drinking, alcohol abuse to me was leaving a glass with a little bit of alcohol in it, right? I would go to lunch and my family would be ready to go. They would have already eaten, and I would have just ordered a drink. It'd be half gone, and they'd be like, come on, let's go, let's go. And to me, alcohol abuse was walking away from that drink because the glass was always half full, and I always needed to drink it. So that was one of the problems that I dealt with, and that was alcohol abuse to me. So we look at this, and we say, do you have the power to moderate? Well, let's look at your track record, okay? Now, the track record can be daunting because for me, I was able to go 1 week, 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks without drinking. And this is entirely stopped, okay? Entirely stopped. Now, I would look at that and I'd say, well, obviously if I can go a week, I should be able to control this. Obviously, if I could go 2 weeks, I should be in control. If I could go 3 weeks, I should be in control. But at the end of the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, I would find myself drinking again to excess, completely wasted, gone, not happy, not liking it, right? That's one of the things. Are you not liking the effects of your drinking? Are you not liking the fact that you can't stop? Are you not liking the fact that you have to go finish every drink that's on the table when everyone walks out of the room, right? These are the things that we look at. So I would look at this and I'd say, well, you know, I could go 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I must have power over my drinking. But it was an illusion of power, right? Why was it an illusion of power? Because all I was doing was keeping it at bay. All I was doing was keeping it at bay and not solving the problem, right? I wasn't solving the problem of, hey, you know what? I got a problem. I need to deal with it. Second, I would look at it and I'd say, well, could I moderate? Okay, because here I was trying to stop entirely, so that could have been the problem, right? In my mind, I tried to justify everything. I was saying, well, maybe I keep getting drunk again at the end of the week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks because I'm trying to stop entirely. What if I just allowed myself to have a little bit a little taste every day, right? Instead of having one big old let's get hosed at the end of 3 weeks, what if I just had 2 drinks a day? Or what if I stopped drinking in the morning? Or what if I didn't start drinking till 5? Or what if I only had light beer? Or what if I didn't have wine? Or what if I only had wine? Or what if I didn't have hard drinks or whatever? And so I would look at this and I'd say, could I moderate? And number one, I got to point out the fact that if you're watching this and you're relating to what I'm saying, that's because you have an obsession in the mind. Okay? It's the obsession in the mind saying, I got to drink, I want to drink, I need to figure out this drinking thing, I got to conquer it, I have to have power over it, I need to be in control. Right? You are, as my therapist told me, a complete and utter control freak. Now, you might not be a control freak like the soccer mom who is psychotic about getting her kids in the van and getting all the balls in the bag and getting all this stuff and doing this and the cupcakes have to be perfect. You might not be like that. That's the obvious control freak. The less obvious control freak is people like alcoholics, right? Alcohol is one thing that we can control without anyone dealing with. But the problem is now it has gotten out of control, and now we're trying to control it again. We're trying to suppress our desires. We're trying to do all these things. So there's a lot of stuff at play here, and you have an obsession of the mind. The obsession of the mind says, I want to drink like a normal person. I want to be able to have 1, 2, 3, whatever, and I want to be okay. But the question is, again, let's look at our track record, right? My track record was, could I have 2? Yes, I could. I could probably have 2 today, and I'd probably be able to have 2 tomorrow. But the problem is that when I give my brain 1 inch or 1 drink or 2 fingers or whatever you want to call it, right? It's going to take a mile because what happened is now you've opened up this as a possibility, right? It's a possibility. And if you have it as a possibility, right? If it's a possibility, it's like, okay, well, if I can have 2, right? Then the possibility is there. And again, in my previous video, we talked about how your brain has linked alcohol as a solution, right? It's a solution. Things get bad, go to alcohol. It works until it doesn't, right? But your brain doesn't know it doesn't anymore. It still thinks it can, and it still knows it as a solution. And if you say, I'll give you 1 inch, we'll solve the problem with just 2 beers, right? That's it. And they'll be light beers, Marcus, I promise, and I'll walk away from it. And you might even be proud of yourself when you walk away from it. But when you give yourself 1 inch, your brain's going to take a mile. And a mile is a lot of inches. So the question is, could I moderate? Could I go 1, 2, 3? Could I not drink in the morning? Could I only drink at night? Could I stop at 9 o'clock and, be done with it? Okay, now you might be able to fool yourself into thinking that that is a possibility. But again, we know what happens with the possibility. We know what happens with the control and the obsession of the mind. And the minute you slip up, you're going to be like, oh, well, F it. Let's go back to it. All right, and this thing's going to start all over again. So you have this obsession in your mind to control. You have this obsession in your mind to be able to have some. And the question I have for you right now, number one, is moderation working right now? Are you able to do it? Is abstinence working right now? Are you able to do it? And why are you asking the question in the first place? You see, it doesn't matter what we call it. It doesn't matter if you say, I'm powerless. It doesn't matter if you say, I got an obsession. It doesn't matter if you say, I'm going to quit. It doesn't matter if you say, I'm an alcoholic. It doesn't matter if you say, I'm not an alcoholic. Whatever we name it doesn't matter. The question is, how is it working for you? Right? How is it working for you? What's going on with you? Like, let's get real about it. Let's put all the junk aside, right? I don't care what you name it. I don't care if you go to meetings. I don't care what you do. Let's take a look at how it is working for you. Because for you personally, can you moderate? Can you stop? If the answer is no, or the answer is yes, I'm really good at quitting, right? I quit all the time. But can you say stay stopped or can you stay moderated? And if the answer is no, right? If you are having trouble with this, there is something bigger at play here. Because you see what's happening here is you are opening the floodgates to a lot of problems. Now, I know that there's a saying, and I kind of like the saying, where it says, first you take a drink, then the drink takes a drink, right? Your first one, you're woohoo, great. And then the next one, your drink's like, hey, I feel pretty good, let's have another. and then the drink takes the man or the woman or whatever you want to say to be politically correct. And what that means is that once you get to a certain point, right? Have you ever noticed how when you get drunk, you don't really have control over what you're doing, right? You'll argue with someone till you're blue in the face about how you're fine and you could go and do things that you shouldn't do, even though the next morning you wake up and you're like, why the heck did I do that? The reason is because alcohol controls / hijacks decision-making process. And I'll just put decision-making process, DMP, right? The decision-making process. And what that means is that your mind is clouded by alcohol. So the fact that you're asking, can I moderate? Can I quit? Can I do this? Am I an alcoholic? Am I whatever, is the very fact that this stuff is hijacking your brain. Okay? So what's happening is we need to get you to a clear state of mind. So here is what I would suggest. I would suggest you get some help. Okay? Now, am I saying, hey, you can't moderate, you can't drink, no, put it down, don't ever touch it, don't even think about it, start shaking and getting jittery when you see a glass of beer, even if it's near beer? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is right now you are stuck in a cycle, and that cycle is a problem, and that cycle is something, if you're like me, you cannot get out of. So what we need to do is we need to decide right now, number one, I've had enough. Okay? I don't need to figure out what it tastes like. I don't need to go have one to see if I still like it. I don't need to test myself. I've had enough to drink for now. For the next couple years, I'm probably fine. So let's say I'm going to get help. Whatever that help looks like, whether you're going to do rehab, whether you're going to do meetings, whether you're going to go to therapy, whatever it is, get help that works. Okay? Find something that works, something that can keep you stopped for a while. Because what I want you to do, okay? We don't have to make any decisions for the rest of our life right now. But what I want you to do is I want you to get clear enough to make rational decisions, okay? Number one, we have had enough, okay? We've had enough to drink. You and I both know what all the drinks taste like. There ain't nothing new under the sun that's some mind-blowing thing that we're missing out on. Two, okay, we want to get a clear head. Okay, we've got some more videos. If you go to talksober.com or you click subscribe, we got other videos that we're working on for you and we have available right now that are going to teach you about how to get a clear mind, how to think clear, how to know if you're thinking clear, and how to change your outlook on things. Okay, so one, say I've got enough, right? We're good. We're good for a while, right? Can you honestly say, hey, you know what? I'm good for a while. I've had plenty. I'm tired of feeling the way that I feel. I'm in a cycle. I'm going to get the help to get out of the cycle. I'm going to get a clear head, and then I could decide what to do later. Okay? So, number one, we got to answer the million-dollar question, which is, can I moderate? Well, there are some people that moderate. Personally, I believe that they're not real alcoholics if they're able to, like, just have 2 a day for the rest of their life. Okay? Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I don't know them personally. So the question is right now, let's take a break. Right now, let's decide that you're going to get whatever help you need for whatever's going on. Because, again, there's a lot of things going on. There's OCD, right? Obsession in the mind and compulsion in the body to drink. You might have emotional stuff. You might have controlling. You might have alcohol clouding your judgment. You might have all this stuff. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get help. Say, I've had enough. I'm good for a while. And do what works and get a clear head. Okay? What I would recommend is start with 90 days. Okay? Now, does this mean that you say, for 90 days I'm not going to drink? At the end of 90 days, we're going to go get all screwed up? No. What I'm saying is give yourself 90 days to start to recover, start to do something different. 90 days isn't the rest of your life. It's not going to kill anyone to go away for 90 days. However, detox might. If you're detoxing, go to the doctor, figure out how to detox, everything like that. Click on the screen for the video about detox. Could be very dangerous. But for 90 days, focus on you. Focus on, hey, you know what? I'm going to get better. I'm going to start to learn new things. I'm going to start to get out of this cloud of alcoholism. I'm going to stop letting it control me, and I'm going to figure out what's going on. At the end of 90 days, you can decide whatever you want to do from there. But what I suggest is get clear, okay? If you decide to moderate later, if you decide to do whatever you want, that's all fine and good because you have the control and you're always going to do what you really want to do anyway, right? You're always going to do what you really want to do anyway. And the fact of the matter is I'm not going to stop that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you have the power to choose. Okay? You might have lost the power to control your drinking. You might have. I don't know. You got to decide for yourself. But one, do you have the power? Look at your track record. Does your track record work? If you've been trying to moderate for like 6 months and you just keep getting drunk and keep getting drunk and you hate getting drunk and you beat yourself up over it, all right, the chances are there's something else going on here, right? And there's a lot of things at play with your brain, with your reward system, with your punishment system, all the things in your brain that are going on. And what we need to do is we need to take a break and get a clear head. So let's decide right now that you don't have to decide, but the one thing you are going to do is get help and give it at least 90 days. Okay? At the end of 90 days, reevaluate it. Go talk to someone. Say, you know what? I haven't drank for 90 days. Here's how I'm doing. Evaluate how you're doing, and who knows? At the end of 90 days, you might not even want to drink anymore. But what we want to do is we want to start to look at this and say, I'm going to get the help I need, because I don't want you to get as far gone as I did, where you end up suicidal and you end up having all these troubles and you end up selling your stuff completely drunk. I sold a house completely drunk, and trying to move your family across the country completely drunk, right? What I want you to do is I want you to look at this rationally, and I want you to get help and intervene on yourself now and say, you know what? I'm going to get the help. I've had enough. I'll be okay. I'm going to do what works, and I'm going to get a clear head. So if you want to moderate, if you want to stop, whatever you want to do, give it 90 days. Say, you know what? Let's focus on this. All right, I hope this video has helped you. We're going to have another video called Alcoholics Are Good at Quitting, or Alcoholics Are Quitters, or whatever makes you click on that video. That's what we're going to name it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, get the help you need. If you're going to be detoxing after a period of a lot of drinking, go get help. Go to talksober.com/help. And if you need help moderating, if you have decided I want to moderate, that's what I want to do, go to talksober.com/moderate. We have tons of tools there for you. Again, I'm Marcus. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to hearing the results of how your 90 days went. Go to talksober.com, join our little community. We got lots of stuff to help you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.